Well, good evening, everyone. How are we doing? Yo Big Shark, Yo Chaos Knight, who says, I still love that Canyon Rex. Thank you very much. And Riley Rose. Welcome. Welcome. Just let me know if the music's a little bit too loud. I don't know if it is. Obviously, we're listening to the score from episode 1 of Dino-Defenders. And we're going to be designing tonight the Megaraptor's Paddock. Now, I just want to make sure that we are focused in correctly as much as we can. That's probably the best, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. I have just put food in the oven, so I'm going to actually have a little bit of a quick break early on. Because I realised I hadn't eaten properly before doing the stream, so I figured, do you know what, I need to eat. I need to get some food in my belly. So I've just made something simple. Yo Oscar, he says, congratulations with the Dino-Defenders premiere, Jack. Do you feel encouraged by the reception? Yes, I do. My word. There's been some very, very kind things said over the last few days. I'm feeling very humbled right now. So I already have an idea of what this is going to look like. Let me see, is that actually focused on the drawing or is it on the paints? Let's sort this out. Maybe if I just define it more. But I have an idea of like what this is going to look like in my head already, so we'll see how we go. And this is going to be a long shot, the establishing shot of the Megaraptor Paddock. Thanks, Chaos Knight. He says, I loved the premiere. Big Shark, the Master of Brick, 75.8 says, good job, Jack. Your show got me hooked. Nice. And Yo, British Tyrannosaur, how are we doing? So this is going to be a highly detailed sort of frame. I want it to have a kind of... So we're actually inside this frame. We're inside the paddock looking at this kind of amphitheater type structure. So it has some like steps up. And it's going to have a kind of step back here. I'm just going to roughly do the path like this. Bring that down. And we're actually going to have, because this is meant to be quite a big building, so it's going to be a door just here. Like so. What are you guys saying? Oh, there we go. Oh, I can see some more people have come in. Welcome. Yeah, so the first episode's out, and it's really interesting to see what people say. I knew some people would say they can't keep up with the dialogue and the dialogue as fast. I've had a few people say that. I kind of expected that to happen, but I'm trying to like get the text to come out as sort of quick as people would actually say it, so it keeps with the flow of the music and everything. And it's the nature of the type of show that I'm going for. If it was a fully animated thing, I'd get voice actors and all that sort of stuff. But I'm working on a limited budget at this time, so at the moment it's a balancing act. Baby steps, sir. Baby steps. As the bear says in Muppets from Space. If you ever seen that film. Baby steps, sir. Baby steps. The story is the key. That's what I'm interested in more than anything. Put another door up here. obviously we'll put some little CCTV cameras coming off the corners. Maybe one in the middle. Maybe like a sort of a more hefty one. Yeah. Oscar says, Mr. Ewens knew this. Before he ever dreamed of an island, he began construction of an amphitheatre. Roberto, he says, your online show is the best. Are you planning on including other animals that are not dinosaurs, like creatures that live in the same time as them? No, not really. The only other creature that's going to really be in the show, aside from like animals and insects that you see just sort of flying past the screen every now and then, is the leopard seal hybrid that we're introduced to in episode 1. Mainly because I want there to be that stark difference between the two. So this is actually going to have a sort of different fence design to the others, because it is a dangerous creature. Yeah, it might be wise. I might even flip this image when I put it in, just so the angle, because the angle to this is actually quite similar to another frame I've done in the episode, so I might actually flip this, but I'm liking it so far. Conpool says, hi from Cali. Yo, California. Riley says, yeah, I love that. I loved it, but for me it was going too fast as English isn't my first language. Yes, apologies. Do you already know how many episodes there will be, or do you make up as you go? I make the frames up as I go. I have the episode, or all 6 episodes planned up pretty much in my head. More details that are sort of smaller details have yet to be worked out, but the main overarching story is all planned out. I know where to get from A, B, C to D or whatever. And so actually, just tonight I came up with, there's something in episode 2 that I was like, there's 2 scenes I need to link together. And so I was like, one way of doing that is to basically how should I put this? Like try and crunch the 2 scenes together. It's like I need these 2 scenes to happen in this episode, but I didn't know the timing of them. But then I thought, what if I actually blur them together so they are all happening in one scene? And that means I end up cutting down locations and cutting down the amount of characters I need for the scenes to play out. It's all a balancing act. Yo Tom, welcome. Imperial Diamond Spider says, painting? You lie. I've got the paints here. They're ready to go. So now this is going to have a bottom bit like this. But yeah, it's just been really good, like hearing people talk about the episode. Mainly because, let's put it this way, I was telling people about Dino-Defenders, but no one could actually see what I was seeing in my head. So, for this story, and so I figured that it's nice to actually have an episode out so people can actually see what I'm talking about. I'm going to put like a garage door type thing on the front here. Obviously there's loads of references to things that I grew up on in this series, as people have pointed out. I know Arjan noticed the Romeo and Juliet reference and the 1996 film. And also, someone pointed out the Hulk. Well, I pointed it out, but someone said they knew where the elevator came from something, and it's like it was inspired by the one from the 2003 movie Hulk. And obviously the music, as we can even hear in the background, you can hear Drew playing guitar over some bits. And that was added in because I'm a huge fan of Twister and 90s movies that like used guitar in them. Just put some binocular things there. I'm actually going to add another line in here. These are meant to be like steps that you can sit on to watch. And then there's going to be like a smaller electric fence here. Like a two-pronged thing. And at the back here we'll have some windows. Actually, I'll need that. Imperial Diamond Spinosaurus says, remember that time when I got Jack to reveal the Camarasaurus? Yeah. You cornered me. I wasn't telling anyone. There's actually a fair few species in episode 1. They're in there. Both alive and not alive. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see this, but let me just show you guys on camera. So we're going to start to see details. So there's like these 2 levels, and they can go get up here. You've got the security cameras and stuff. It's like an almost amphitheater type deal. It's where they can study the Megaraptor. Because the Megaraptor's what, about this tall? Like from the ground. It's about there. So I don't know, actually let you guys see that better. Yeah, Megaraptor's about that tall. So they are dangerously close, but there's going to be things down here to prevent it getting too close. Big Shot the Master Brick says, I saw the Herrera source skull in the Jurassic Park novel. Nice. There's actually going to be a gate here. I'm just going to draw. Just do a simple gate design, because I'm going to paint this roughly and then it gets edited in the computer afterwards. Oscar Stainton says, do you have any plans to do a commentary for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom like you've done with the other Jurassic films? Yes, I'm going to record one this Jurassic June. That's a video that I'm going to be working on very soon. Do a commentary for Fallen Kingdom. Tom Jurassic says, I still need to see Godzilla. I might try and catch it while I'm in Pittsburgh. Nice. When do you fly out, man? You're going to the wedding, right? Imperial Diamond Spinosaurus says, I saw Godzilla King of the Monsters last week. Yeah, I saw it too. I thoroughly enjoyed it. In its funny little way. I actually got a kick out of its craziness. Funny that. Now, what I'm going to do is basically fill this in with jungle, because this is meant to be completely almost overgrown. They're going to be like hidden, sort of partly hidden. So there's going to be all bushes down here and everything. Actually, I should probably draw the ground around the outside here. So I can get all the details in. Yeah, like that. So, trying to think now. It's going to be the tricky bit, because I'm going to have to be very careful when doing all this detail. Oh, okay. That's my food. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. I'm just going to scoff down this food and then I'm going to come back, okay? I'll try not to choke, don't worry. 2 seconds, guys. Okay, I'm back. That was good. Just had a mozzarella burger. Tasty. Let's have another little bit. Bon appetit, says Riley Ross. Thank you. Yo Zul. Yo Michael Tharm. I just noticed there's some other people who've joined us. Yo Dead Man's Party. Right, okay. Where were we? We were doing some bushes and details. I don't know if any of you guys managed to catch the launch trailer for Dino-Defenders. There was a few extra new shots added in there that you won't see anywhere else. The whole bars. I'm just trying to think what I can do with this camera actually, because it's kind of focused in on one side rather than the whole thing. Move those over. Yeah, that might be better actually. Yeah, the whole bars across the or the wires across the fence in this one, they're actually going to be quite thick. There's going to be a top bit. And then I'm actually going to carefully, if I can. Dratini. What is the T-Rex going to look like? Or maybe he's not going to be here. There is no T-Rex in Dino-Defenders, aside from the statue that we've already seen in Rose's office. So it's going to have this top block section, and then underneath it's going to have the electric fence, so people can look in. I'm just going to do that one because I'm going to paint the actual backgrounds behind these, and then I can do the actual wires later on. And then there's going to be barbed wire over the top. Wait, I've got a speaker out on my headphones. There we go. I just roughly do this because it will it will need re-editing and in the computer all these little bits of detail. Oscar State says, what were your main source of inspiration for Dino-Defenders besides any notable dinosaur related films and TV shows? Well, Twister, I don't know if that counts as notable TV shows. Dinosaur related ones, yeah. I guess Twister is dinosaur related because of Crichton. Prometheus being one, the Ridley Scott film. And also just I don't know, the world as a whole. I mean, the story is all about control and chaos, exactly like what Alien and Jurassic Park talks about. But at the same time, it's gonna, I don't know, it's gonna be looking at some other things. And then when man tries to control nature, it doesn't go well. I mentioned Romeo and Juliet. There's like other things, like shots, particular shots that I'm inspired by, that I see in other media. You know, the music is inspired sort of quasi by Overwatch and other things like that. Trying to combine that sort of electronic sounding music to classical music. At least as classical as we can get it. Because the composer, like he's a musician, obviously, but he'd never done anything like this before. And I said, and when he was asking me, he was like, "I've never done anything like this before, but I'd love to have a crack at it. Would you mind?" I said that, well, I've never made a cartoon series before, so we're both learning. Billy Bimbo says, "Ooh, what are you making?" It's the Megaraptor Paddock, as Riley just pointed out. Michael Thurm says, "What would you say your buildings are inspired by, Jack?" Again, Aliens, Hadley Hopes vibe. Yeah, that's exactly. Alien is sort of basically designing the way all the buildings and stuff look, more so than Jurassic. You know, very industrial looking, like slapped together. It's like kit bashing. Like my dad was talking to me the other night about it when he saw episode 1. He was saying that, like, you know, we were talking about like the setting, that there's no mention of when it is, and because I'm just making up the look of all the equipment and stuff, so it kind of looks like it works, but it, you know, it's just made up, like the weapons and stuff. That's because you know, why not? Because they serve a function in the story. They don't have to actually necessarily be you know, an actual thing. Like the guns, I can just make the guns up. Why do I need to have like a branded looking gun? As long as it looks like what it's meant to be. And that's where you can have like all the fun, like what Kenner used to do with their action figures, you know. And that's another way of linking it back to that as inspiration. Spotlights, that's what we need. Okay, one set of spotlights, and what I'll do is once I've painted that, I will on the computer, I'll cut it out and then add another one over here. So I'm not going to draw it, but that means I've got the background in, which is actually, like, I've already painted the background in, like is what I'm going to say. So when I add the layer of the spotlight over here, you know, I don't have to worry about what's behind it. Oh no, I hate this track on this track. There we go. That's better. British Traditional says, in the year 20XX, the 80s had it figured out. Just put an XX in the year. That's true. It's like, why date it? Why does it need a date? That's what Alien... I think people worked out when the original Alien was set, before Prometheus and all that came out. I think people had sussed it out from like watching the DVD and stuff of Aliens, and like you can see when Ripley's giving her testimonials that you know, you can date it from that, or I think it says the date. But before then, like, people didn't know when Alien was set. It was just like, yeah, that's it's just in the future. And you didn't need to know why everything looked so retro, even though time was moving forward in that film. It could still be in the future. It's just like some alternate future where old technology is being used to stitch together giant, you know, refinery ships, cargo ships. Any inspiration from Avatar, says Tom Jurassic? Yes, I'd say probably in terms of lighting. Like in episode 2, there is a bit like where it's lit very much like Avatar. There's no glowing mushrooms or anything. But, you know, you'll see what I mean when it comes to it. Okay, very bushy, as you can see. Now, what I'm going to do is down the bottom, I'm actually going to rub out the bottom section of the buildings. Not the garage door, not the gate, like that. Is it a year ago tonight? Tom Jurassic says, today 1 year ago was Fallen Kingdom's midnight showings in the UK. Still gutted I didn't go. Oh man. Was that a year ago? My word. I was with Clayton watching it in the IMAX at Waterloo. And Bam Sam. Me and Bam Sam had been hanging out and Clayton met us, and then he sat with Dangerville, couple of rows in front of us. We were there with Oscar. Was it Oscar? Were you there? Can't remember now. My mind has gone all... Oof. So you can see I'm just adding some like foliage down the bottom. So it's like been growing over everything. Now there's actually going to be like leaves in the way here. It's going to like part. The camera's going to like pull in and the plants will move out, and it will focus from the plants to the background. So it'll be like a, you know, do this. Like you see these little drawings. It'll say like, pull focus. Yeah. Yeah, it was you, Oscar. Yeah, man. Yeah, it was good. Tom Jurassic says, I vote we organise a meeting for midnight at the IMAX of Jurassic World 3. 3. Yes, that would be good. If the dates all work out fine, I'm game. Add some crosses. And then I'll just add some little bushes here. It was funny, the timing of everything, because I had, you know, I had some knowledge of, well, I knew they were making Camp Cretaceous, but I didn't know, like, sort of as much detail as what they've given out, and I certainly didn't see a trailer. We were just informed about it. But, you know, I was like, oh, I wonder when they're going to start telling the public about that. I didn't realise it was going to be like 2 days after I launch Dino-Defenders. So I was like, well, that's pretty good timing, because now everyone's talking about animated dinosaur cartoons. So, would you look at that? That was a stroke of luck. But it's like I want to show. I think the first episode of this series is much linear than the rest, because it's just like they arrive, they go see the dinosaurs. There's a few talking scenes in between that set up characters and all that sort of stuff. But the episode what the series is about kicks off in episode 2. And should hopefully make it stand out, because at the moment there's obviously a lot of Jurassic Park references in the first one and all that nonsense, because I was inspired by it, obviously, and the lack of 90s Jurassic Park cartoons and things like Cadillacs and dinosaurs. I know you know, I was asked what inspired me other than dinosaur stuff, but like Cadillacs and dinosaurs and all that, even though that's not what you're asking for. But you get what I mean. Michael Varm says box office means Jack now. It used to represent something, now it's just a pissing contest. Well, yeah. There's always that element in anything like the film industry or the sports. Definitely sports, but yeah, you get it everywhere. People going about the money. Oh, this made more money than this. I just look at it this way. So, like, you know, Jurassic is Jurassic, and you know, if it ain't Jurassic Park, it's extinct and all that sort of stuff in the dino genre. But I figured that you know, the good thing about Dino-Defenders, or aside from like the lack of like a budget, is the fact that like I can interact with you guys and we can sort of, you know, have fun with making it together and show the whole process and actually just have a bit of fun making a cartoon series that caters to sort of what we'd like to see. That's why I'm not like, I haven't mentioned, you know, Rose, the person who runs this whole facility in the story. She's not like Hammond in a sense. She doesn't own a company like InGen. She owns an idea. And yeah. And she's convinced people to sort of fund that idea. Rather than so like Gennaro goes to Jurassic Park and he represents the investors. This is the investors are there. So it's going to be a little bit more business orientated. By the way, if you're wondering what I'm drinking, this is a lemon and ginger tea. It is literally just lemon and ginger, and you can eat this. You can just eat it. It is delicious. Lemon and ginger. Right, anyway. Let's get some colour on this. So I'm actually going to do the leaves first. Let's just see about using already some of this paint that's already on here. Like I said, I'll paint this and then it'll go into the computer and get heavily edited with lighting and all that sort of stuff. But that's what gives it the sort of the more realistic look. Now, I can't remember the exact number of frames in episode 1. Not including, you know, the frames of the dinosaurs moving, because they require, you know, more frames just for themselves. But the actual frames of the show, I believe, was like around the 130 mark, something like that, 100 and something like that. But what was I going to say? Episode 2 is going to be longer in terms of number of frames. I don't know if it's going to be longer or the same length or anything in terms of the final product, because I haven't put it together yet. I haven't finished it yet, that's what I'm doing. But what was I going to say? Yeah, so like I'm painting this frame. This frame's like what? Let me just try and work this out. This frame is number 80 something. So like I'm a good way through episode 2 already. So I'm hoping that, you know, if all goes well, it's not going to be too much longer until the next episode's out. But I don't want to count my chickens before they roost. But yeah, so 130 frames or so for episode 1, and we're already 80 into around 80 in episode 2 already. Tom Jurassic says, I'm writing up about the history of Lego dinosaurs while you stream. May see the old school Lego Brachiosaurus, Mosasaurus and Styracosaurus. Nice, nice. Big Shark says, hey Jack, I'm sure the action scenes will also be a lot of frames. Yes. Yes, episode 3. Episode 3 and 4 are probably going to be the most... Well, I mean, it's where the action kicks off. Really, there's action in episode 2, but episode 2 is still the build-up, really. Episode 3 and 4, my goodness, those are gonna be very challenging indeed. Be using like as much as I can enough bright colours, so then you know, this will, because it's going to be in the day, so I'm going to be using brighter colours. Hey, what's going on with this music? It's just white noise. Let's change it up. Let's put on... Yes. This. Wonderful. Wonderful music. Michael Tham says, I remember designing a Lego T-Rex back in 1995-96. Michael, did you base this T-Rex on the Lego Dragon that was big at that time? I don't know if you remember the Dragon. It had like it was black and it had like orange wings. They did release a T-Rex that kind of looked, well, it was cut from the same cloth as that sort of design. Valentin Arlano says, wow, you do art, that's great. Used to draw all the time as a kid, specifically dinosaurs, definitely obsessed with dinosaurs. Aren't we all? But what is it about? What does it mean? They're definitely a very good storytelling tool, dinosaurs. That much I know. They're very easy to include because they represent, you know, the unknown. You're now entering the Twilight Zone. I don't know how long I'm going to be streaming tonight. I've only been streaming for 46 minutes so far, but I've got a fair few hours on me. Right. Big Shadow's Master of Brick says, have you guys heard of the Solo fan community and that they want a second film? I haven't even seen Solo, so I can't really comment on that. Because I can't say, I haven't seen it. You have a steady hand. Sometimes. Well, the thing about watercolours is you can be a bit splodgy with them. That's sort of their style. And they dry super quick, so then you can like add what I've just done here. I've added like a darker colour because this is already dry. Other things that have inspired Dino-Defenders aside from things that have dinosaurs in, I'll say the Disney animated movies like Treasure Planet and Atlantis, Tangled, sort of have been inspiring in terms of, you know, I look at their artwork and I'm like, you know what, I like that sort of kind of, well, that sort of style. So I've sort of just been designing things in with that in mind, but trying to do it in my own way. British Translator says, so why was this not a computer painting again? Was not a computer painting again? What are you talking about, British Tyrannosaur? You drunk? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. What are you talking about? Big Shark says, I'm waiting on the live action Star Wars show. Did you need the Disney streaming service to watch that? Or are they releasing it elsewhere? Why are you real painting? Says British Treasure, or why are you really painting? Well, the serious answer to that is because I paint faster when I do the backgrounds like this. Like I used to do when I started Dino-Defenders, I actually did the backgrounds in the computer solidly, and they actually used to take ages to do. And I was like, there's something wrong here. I was like, what am I not getting? And then that's when I started watching the Disney films and stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, of course, they paint all their backgrounds. Like with, well, they used to paint properly with like oil paints and all sorts. And I was like, well, why don't I give that a pop? This music's really loud. So the first one I actually painted, or at least tried with the painting, was the this one. I've actually got it with me. This. So I did this piano watercolor and then put that into the frame, and then I was like, actually that looks really good. So then I went back and I did other frames with watercolors. I've actually got, let me just show you. Is this. These are all there's some episode 2 ones in here as well, but this is episode 2 stuff. So like, some of these are really, really rough. This one's huge. So you'll start to see like, there are loads and 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 loads of paintings. Yeah, I like that one. That one's cool. But yeah, so like loads of paintings. There's one from episode 1. And then loads of foliage and trees and stuff that I cut out that I can use in backgrounds just to fill in details. And there's the end shot from episode 1. That's... oh, the word is upside down. That's the end shot from episode 1. Just, you have to, for the pool focus, to put all of it, so for the... bringing the... I don't know what the camera term is, but... dollying back, is that what they call it? But yeah, there you go. Oh no, I put in the one I'm doing now. So yeah, so like painting the backgrounds actually has sped up the process incredibly in this way. That's not all of them. I've got these ones. There's more. These are the latest ones. These are like, we're talking, yeah, like we're on, there's a spoiler there. That's episode 2, frame 62. Yeah. There's all sorts of painting. There's like all the ones on all the digital painting layers and stuff of the characters and dinosaurs and all that, but the backgrounds are all watercolours for the most part now. There's still some frames that don't require any watercolouring, like close-ups and stuff like that, that I can use previous watercolours to fill in the gaps of the Dino-Defenders frame DNA. British Dinosaur says the Chad matte painting. Damn straight. Blow it out your ass, as Duke Nukem would say. But it's what gives it this style that you don't usually see. And obviously with my painting skills, I'm not the greatest at painting backgrounds, but I've been pleased with the results so far. Like, you look at some of the Disney backgrounds and even backgrounds of like Don Bluth movies, they are incredible in themselves. But I was watching like Adventure Time as well, and even though they're more stylized, they do have like backgrounds that are highly detailed and all that. It's part of the secret to it, I think. And plus, you know, in the future, who knows what I'll do with the real paintings. Could sell them. I don't know. Get your Dino-Defenders backgrounds here. Auctioning them off. 10 tuppence a pop. I'm probably being really loud. Yo, Riley. And Imperial Diamond, thank you. They both say it looks really good. I'm going to use a different green now. I'm going to go use this darker green to fill in some of the gaps. Again, his Bob Ross on, says Michael Thorne. I was actually just thinking about I was just listening to or watching the Joe Rogan Eddie Bravo podcast, latest one, on his YouTube channel, and it gets really awkward at one point. It's like, oh man, Joe's just sick of hearing about flat Earth. That's so funny. Michael Tham doing a Bob Ross impression. Just a happy little tree there. Just a little tree. Happy little friend. British Transfer says, man, I can't believe we are 12 movies into the successful Pacific Rim cinematic universe. What a time to be a fan. Yeah. I'll admit, that was a bit of a shame. See, I saw that someone posting about that Godzilla film universe, cinematic universe, where they'd like mocked up what a Godzilla cinematic universe could look like after Kong v Godzilla. I think 4 films is good. If they do any more, like I'll probably check them out if I'm still curious. But I think there just comes a point where you need to take a break and leave it for a few more years, and then wait for technology to do different things, and then see what you can do with it. Because that's basically what they've done. Like, Godzilla King of the Monsters is a Heisei era Godzilla film, just made with a Hollywood budget, opposed to what Toho could conjure, or their style that they wanted to go for. It's like a Hollywood style Heisei era Godzilla film, and that's cool and everything.
Era films matching Godzilla.
Hey. My phone was listening to me. Shut up, phone. Technology. Listening in. Yeah, I forgot what I was saying now. The AI interrupted me. Yeah, it's like you gotta let the technology catch up. That's what I'm basically saying. I mean, look at Toho from Godzilla Final Wars to Shin Godzilla. Like, the change in effects was amazing. Like, Shin Godzilla looks so good. In Final Wars, you watch that and you're like, yeesh. My goodness, that is crazy, that movie. Siri is always listening, says Roy Ross. Yeah, if I say a name, or his name, they'll listen. Michael Tham said, I'd like to see Gigan in a legendary movie. Yeah, it'd be interesting. British Transfer says Pacific Rim banked way too hard on its fan base to carry it. The thing was, I think it was like just simply down to the physics of the whole thing. Like, it sounds stupid when you say it, but because you're watching a film about giant robots, but like, there's a weight and a destruction that Guillermo del Toro brought to the franchise that's just not present really in Uprising. You know, scenes where like some of the Jaegers do like a flip kick off the side of a building, and you're like, well, when I saw the kaijus and the Jaegers battling in the original Pacific Rim, they were smashing through buildings. Like they were damaging to their environments. They couldn't just do like a kick flip off the side of a building. And I know it's like, it sounds petty, but I think that's like what builds the world of Pacific Rim the most, was like the way they animated the kaijus. Well, not so much the kaijus, but like the Jaegers more than anything. And I think the attitudes of the Jaeger pilots was in stark contrast to the original. The original, they were terrified every time they sort of were going out. Not for the most part. You know, like when, right in the opening of the first one, when like his brother dies, it's like, it's no joke. Isn't there a thing at the end? Oh no, actually, I don't think everyone's seen Godzilla King of the Monsters, so I won't talk about it. Unless everyone's fine with spoilers. If everyone's fine with spoilers, then I'll chat King of the Monsters in depth. I have some things I want to say about it that I didn't say in my review video. A couple of little details I missed out because I rushed to get that out. Nothing important though, like nothing that's really going to sway opinions on it. Just little observations. Have you seen it, British Tyrannosaur? Just getting the dark bits of the forest in. Michael Tham says, "Oh Jack, did you clock the twins? You said you missed them, but they were in there." Yes, I've since come to learn that they were in there. I am going for a second viewing this Saturday. I'm taking my nephew to go see it, so I'll be on the lookout for that. British Transfer says, I've been spoiled, so might as well finish it off. Well, I don't want to like annoy anyone who's not in the chat who's listening, but I'll say this. This isn't really a spoiler in terms of the story, but, you know, they sort of show it in one of the trailers, I believe. But it's because I've gone back and since watched the trailers, and I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I didn't go back and watch the trailers. It was really refreshing watching the movie and not knowing what was coming. But yeah, there's other monsters in the movie other than Rodan, Mothra, King Ghidorah, and Godzilla. There's like, you know, some of the monsters we've seen before and all that. But there's this like mammoth kaiju, and it looks awesome. It's like a giant mammoth kaiju. But me and my friend Jack, who's seen it as well, we were discussing this, and we both said that we thought that was King Kong, and that he was just wearing a giant woolly mammoth skull, and like he was walking around in like disguise. It looked like Kong, but I don't think it is. I think someone pointed out it's a different kaiju, but for a moment I thought, yeah, the behemoth, that's it. We thought it was Kong wearing like a big mammoth skull as a mask and walking around pretending to be a mammoth, like as a disguise, and then it was going to reveal himself at the end or something, but he didn't. But that would have been cool. But I'm not blaming the movie for not doing it. Okay, this is coming along nicely. I'm probably over in the blurry area of the screen, but if I just bring this up to the camera, you'll start to see. We're starting to get it. Michael Thumb says, surprised about the other Muto. Yeah, like... I mean, I was surprised to see it. I mean, the opening of the film, well, that was... I don't want to go into detail, but that was pretty sick to see. But the other Muto you see towards the end of the film, like, I wasn't really surprised to see it as so much that I thought that's logical that it's there. You saw how many babies the Mutos were having in the first one. They were having a lot. They all got blown up, but you know they could have. There was other Mutos out there, and it makes sense because Godzilla in the 2014 one was stopping them from becoming like a plague because there's so many of them. That's how they like when they breed. So that's why he was like jostled into stopping them because he knew it would overthrow the balance or whatever. Oh, sorry, Tom. Yeah. No, we're going to end it now. We'll end the King of the Monsters spoiler talk. We'll stop it there, boy. Don't leave. So I'm using this grey that I used in another frame just to fill in this fence. Let's talk Pacific Rim again. Specific Rim. I don't know what else is there to say about Pacific Rim. Loved the first one. The second one was disappointing. Bish bash bosh. Yeah, sorry Tom. Yeah, no worries. Oh, Tom, you should definitely check out the first Pacific Rim. It is worth it, in my opinion. It's a good romp. What I like about it the most is the fact that it was like even though it's inspired by a lot of stuff we've already seen before, it was an original property. That's what I liked most about it. It was like, it was nice to see something, even though it's like borrowing ideas left, right, and centre from something. It's a little bit like Dino-Defenders in that regard. Borrowed a lot of stuff from different things, but put it all into its one film. And I would say you don't have to watch the second one. There's nothing really new to learn. And I feel bad for saying that, but, you know, that's my honest opinion. See you later, Big Shark. Tom Jurassic says, in terms of mechs, my biggest love for them is the Cyclops in Halo Wars, as they are very similar to amp suits in Avatar. Tom, tell me you've seen Aliens. Have you seen the film Aliens? Mr. Thomas. I love the amp suits in Avatar. I think they're really cool. Oh, Tom. Now I'm not going to judge you for not seeing Aliens. I was just saying that if you like the amp suit in Avatar, then you should probably watch Aliens. But if you haven't seen the first one, then I'd say you probably have to go back and watch that. But Aliens, if you like the amp suits, yeah, because there's James Cameron. There's lots of things going on in Aliens. Like, you might not know this, or you might know this. The amp suits in Avatar have the motion tracker from Aliens in their dashboard. It's like a little nod to his previous film in design-wise. You'll see a lot of Avatar or Aliens. You'll see a lot of Avatar and Aliens, or the other way around, whichever way it is. Tim Tiber says, I can't stay for long, but I just wanted to say good job on episode 1. It was worth the wait, man. Oh, thanks. Thanks, dude. Thanks for popping by as well. To say so. Most kind. Tom Jurassic says, I'm all about Starship Troopers. Yeah, good old Rico. You know what to do. I haven't watched Starship Troopers in a while. Do love that movie. It's an interesting film. What about Deep Blue Sea? There you go. The Jurassic Park of shark movies. I'm just going to go for a bigger brush now. British Dinosaur says, deeply see as Chad can be. Yo, Sam Neill. Not the Sam Neill. A Sam Neill. Event Horizon, says Michael Thumb. Yeah, it's an alright movie. It's okay. It's a little bit spooky spook. Sam Neill says, I'm the Sam Neill, alright, and you best believe it, you British Texan. What? Oh my goodness. British Transfer says, I was supposed to do a YouTube series where I review 100 shark movies, but I might shelve it for a podcast or something. 100 shark movies, man. Why? Oh my goodness, that'd be horrifying. Are there 100 shark movies that you could that are worth watching? British Translator says, it's the search to find any good ones. Before doing it, there's like 5 I know are good. 5 out of 100. Well, good luck, man. However you pursue that. That's it. I tried to do Jaws July on my channel a few years ago. I only managed to do the commentary for the first Jaws, and even then it was just me and my friend Jack just watching it, like, and recording our reaction to it and having a stupid chin wag over it. Like, the audio quality is so bad. It's like we couldn't even be bothered to do it properly. Okay, this needs to be more grey. How many videos did you even do for Jaws July? Like 2. Oh, well, yeah, actually, I did the trailer as well. I did the trailer for Jaws. I don't even know. I don't even know if the trailer is still on my channel. I think I might have deleted it because I went, well, that didn't happen. So I think I was like trying to do it so like I'd do Jaws July every July, like do. So like this July, I should release my Jaws 2 commentary. It's just one of those ideas I was like really keen for, and then other things got in the way. And I just thought, you know what, I don't care. But now we're here. Actually, you know what got in the way of Jaws July? It was Dino-Defenders. Because the first Dino, the image of the trees, the opening shot of the first show where the trees are all the bird's eye view and the helicopters coming over, that's the very first frame I painted, and that was done in July of 2017. So it would have been. When did I do Jaws July? Let me work this out. Let's go have a look. Oh my word, when did I do it? Okay, yeah, so I got rid of the trailer, but when did I do Jaws July? Yeah, July 18th, 2017. So literally the thing that killed Jaws July was Dino-Defenders, and here we are, 2 years later, and we're on to episode 2. Okay, yeah, this is looking alright so far. It looks very blurry on the image, so you'll just have to bear with me. Yo, Cretaceous the Hunted. Michael Tham says, I saw Robert Shaw's home in Ireland in 2016. Definitely got it after going Jaws. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the trees. I'm going to need my small brush again. Where's that gone? Bugger. Oh, it's in the drink. So let's British Tyrannosaur, sorry. It says the Meg was really fun. Hope for more shark blockbusters soon. I wasn't sold on the Meg. I thought it was silly, yes, but I thought they were going to go for a little bit more of a serious tone with it, and I got the joke. The joke was, hey, it's Jason Statham with a giant shark, but at the same time, they could have done it more seriously, and so nothing against tongue-in-cheek humour, but I think that it was 2 hours of the one-note joke. The effects were cool, though. Not gonna lie about that. The shark looked great. Sam Neill says, "Stop ignoring me, Jack. I'm not here to be ignored. I'm Nam Seal." Sam Neill and his cheeky grin. Mr. Neil. I can see why people enjoyed it though, British Tyrannosaur, don't get me wrong. I did watch it on a plane, maybe that's the heresy there. So maybe I didn't get the full effect. I watched it on the plane home from Japan, I believe? Or was it? No, I think it might have been the plane there. Yeah, it was the plane there I watched it. Going to Japan. So I admit, like, yeah, I didn't watch it under the best conditions. I want to hear your thoughts, because you just said in the chat, British Tyrannosaur, that you're a shark movie fan. I know it's not exactly sharks, but what do you think of Piranha 2, The Spawning? Have you seen that film? The James Cameron movie? Okay, I'm thinking for this top bit here, I'm going to do like this sort of mustardy yellow. Bit of a heresy, I need to watch that, says British Tyrannosaur. Oh man, yeah, you should go on it. It's something. British Tyrannosaur says that's the one where they fly, right? Yeah. The piranhas, they fly. That's a film that takes itself too seriously. Like, that's the complete opposite. That's you watch that and it's so funny, but it's at the same time it takes itself so seriously. Okay, let's get this blue. I've got this blue up in the corner from the other day. I was painting. Put it on this window here. Then we get this sort of greeny colour here. The garage door. Just so it's a slightly different shade of grey, with a hint of green. There. Now I'm actually going to get a load of green and just dab the top. This is going to be the camera might the fake camera might move down. Yo Mason, see someone called Mason's joined us. British Transfer, like you're being chased by a £2 CGI monster, but the actors are behaving like this is a Spielberg film or something. Yes, yes, exactly. Oh man, it's so good. In its badness, you know how bad it is. It's so good. It's definitely entertaining. Cretaceous Standards asks, "Hey Jack, what's your favourite Godzilla movie from Toho?" I mean, I actually used to say it was Godzilla vs Mechagodzilla 2, the one that I mentioned in my review of King of the Monsters. I said that one because it was just so crazy and fun, and the 90s effects were just awesome. But obviously the original, that's my answer for like not just saying the original. It's like people ask, "Oh, what's your favourite Jurassic Park movie?" Well, it's like, well, the first one is the one that if I had to take onto a desert island, that's the one I'd grab. But at the same time, they're not going anywhere, so I don't really have a favourite. But like the Toho ones, it's a little bit more easier to pick a favourite because the first one is just so, I don't know, it's got an atmosphere like no other. But then again, I used to say the Heisei era Godzilla films were my favourite, and they still are to an extent because of just how... Stop listening to me. How like they sort of nailed the real look of the characters, in my opinion, thanks to the Showa era. I mean, the Mechagodzilla isn't as good, but they certainly improved on Mothra, in my opinion. And Godzilla looks really awesome. I love his sort of like he's got like a cat-like muzzle in those films, and I like that design choice. See you later, Riley. Michael Tham says it's always got to be Godzilla vs Monster Zero. Monster Zero, that's a great choice. Sorry to hear about your Instagram, Mary. Cretaceous the Hunted. Godzilla vs Monster Zero is okay. That's my opinion. I respect yours too. Yeah, I love all like the thing about the Godzilla films is I love all of them. There's like no, you can't really like they've all got their own fun little quirks. Even Son of Godzilla, says British Tyrannosaur. There are some people out there who do enjoy that movie. I am not one of them. But I will not discredit the fact that it's got fans. So when I say that, like, the Godzilla, everyone can find something in each Godzilla film, and there are some people out there who will watch Son of Godzilla. So I can't say that they can't do that. Obviously, I can say that I'm not one of them. I also really like the 2014 Godzilla, and I really like this new film that they've released, but I've only seen it once, and I really want to, like, I don't want to, I can't sort of rank it in my head because it's so early on. But it's like this, you know, like I was saying, there's so many Godzilla films, so like, I don't know, I have days where I'll be like, oh, I'm in the mood for a Showa era Godzilla film. Or I'm like, oh, I'm in the mood to watch one of the Millennium series Godzilla films. Like, they have different moods. I'm like, oh, I'm in the mood to watch Shin Godzilla. Shin Godzilla is up there in my list of favourite Godzilla films, if I had a list. It'd definitely be among the best. Just because it's so interesting and funny. And just brilliantly put together. British Tyrannosaur says Jet Jaguar was an absolute unit. Jet Jaguar. Jet Jaguar. Jet Jaguar. Punch, punch, punch. So I want the environment in this section to look different. So instead of doing yellow on the ground, the whole thing is basically going to be green. Like, it's sort of a field. But I need different shades of green, so I'm going to do light green on these patches and then a sort of darker, more churned up grass for this whole section here. Josh Jensen says, "Hey Jack, hey Johnson." Oh, Josh says, "Enjoying the stream. Think you'll do another Let's Chat Jurassic Park live at some point." Yes. It's funny actually you ask that because I'm actually planning a sort of get together with some members of the Jurassic community, secret little meeting, and we're just going to be discussing Jurassic, and I was going to record it. But I've been sort of toying with the idea of doing it as a live stream, and I'm asking them if they'd be okay with that. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But keep an eye out on my Twitter. I have been thinking about the Let's Chat Jurassic Park, doing another one of those. The problem is the things that I talk about. Yeah, there's a lot I can't talk about. That's the problem. So it's like, you know, you get asked a million questions, and obviously there's all this Camp Cretaceous stuff and other things and all that and stuff coming out, and it's like that's what will get talked about, and I can't really elaborate on it. So a lot of my answers now will be I can't really talk about that. I can't really talk about that. So yeah, it will happen again in the future. Like just a simple Let's Chat Jurassic Park, but at the same time it's going to be a bit of a wait because everything's you know, the ball is moving, or what is it, what does Gandalf say? The ball is set, the pieces are moving. That's why I'm concentrating on Dino-Defenders for the most part, because this is all me. This is my little baby. So let's get this darker green here. Michael Tharm says, right, I'm packing for the evening. Fun as always, folks. Nice to see you work and chat, Jack. I'll be in touch tomorrow about a date for the podcast recording. Yeah, see you later, man. It was really nice to see like people say that they enjoyed watching the live streams and then seeing the final product. Like, I got a few messages about that. That was really nice to read. Yes, and they like the idea of seeing stuff like this and then, you know, seeing the final product come to life. And you've been, you know, following it from the beginning. British Tyrannosaur says, welcome back to the review a second of Jaws Free every episode podcast. Instead of a minute of podcasting. Wait, instead of a minute of film per episode of podcast, you're talking about a second. So like a second of Jaws Free, we talk about that second. Oh, you crack me up, man. You crack me up. Imperial Diamonds Final Source says, Jack, review Godzilla Final Wars. Yeah, no, I will do that. I want to do a review of Final Wars. I just don't know when, and I don't know if I'd want to do it as a simple review, because I can give you my thoughts on it now, but I don't know, would it be more fun to do it as like a Black Sack episode or something? Like if I put that in the Black Sack and see what Will has to say about it, because I don't think he's seen it. And I know for a fact he probably won't see this stream because he's been very busy at work. Okay, so the page is actually getting a bit crinkly now from the paint. the water, sorry. But that's alright, that adds shadows and stuff that I edit in computer. Tom Jurassic says, I definitely think the live streams have been nice, dude. It's nice because you work really hard and can't share much of that. So it's great seeing something where you can share from the ground up. Ah, cheers, man. Imperial Diamond says, make the Godzilla Final Wars video review some kind of sub-special. A subscription special. I don't know, I haven't done any subscription specials. I don't know, I'd have to look into it, but yeah. I don't know if that would happen anytime soon, but yeah, I would like to talk more about all the Godzilla films, but the thing is, I mean, what can you really say about them? I like this one, I like that. I like this design, I didn't like that one. I thought Final Wars was entertaining in its craziness, but it's not one of my favourites. Tom Jurassic says, say what you want about Godzilla 2014. The cinematography is gorgeous. That Halo parachute sequence has inspired me with its genuinely stunning use of lighting and contrast. That is a good shot. A good scene. It's just that end fight, like, that it's too dark. Like, I'm okay with the rest of the film. I'm not too fussed by the, you know, holding back of the fights so much. That never really bothered me, but the lighting in that final fight sequence is just atrocious. Like, that's my thoughts on the lighting. It's like the shots and everything's really cool. The Halo jump looks great, that's all good, but it's when they get down to the ground, because the city has been burnt so much, it's like everything's hidden. I have to close the curtains and everything like loads when I watch it. I can kind of see what happens, but you know, well, I can see what happens for the most part, but it's still like a chore to try and focus in on. It's like you just want it to be a tad lighter. And that is really my only complaint of the movie, because for the most part I like the rest of it. I didn't mind Adrian Brody's character. I thought he was a fine sort of blank canvas for the audience to take the ride with. And he sort of let the monsters and their destruction and everything speak for itself. Okay, so I'm going to use a pencil now just to get back in some of the details. British Transitor says it was fine in the theatre, actually, but on Blu-ray, man, oh man. Well, the thing is, I watched the 2014 Godzilla twice at the cinema. The first time it was actually lit really well, and I was like, yeah, I'm enjoying this. Because I worked at a cinema at the time, and the Empire on Leicester Square, and they did a screening for the Warner Brothers marketing team, the London marketing team, and I told him how much of a Godzilla fan I was, and so he got me into that. But I turned up for it, and I was the only one wearing a Godzilla t-shirt. Like, everyone else was in like suits. So I did stand out like a sore thumb, but yeah, the lighting in that version, that was perfect. Like, it looked amazing. But the second time, it was so dark. And that was only like a few weeks later. I'm gonna have to redo these gates in computer heavily. I'm actually going to do the spotlights as well properly in computer. So this is just going to be sort of the rough background, and then I'll add those in digitally. Digitally. Digimon. Digital monsters. Digimon are the champions. By Jove, I've gone stark raving mad. I see someone in the chat who was mentioned, it was Imperial Diamond mentioned GMK. Love GMK, that's a great one. Great movie. Okay, sorry, I was just lost reading the chat. Talking about Ghost Walter White returning to fight Kong. Oh dear. Do I have a silver? I believe I have a silver somewhere. So I've been streaming for nearly 2 hours. I think I'm going to I do have a silver. Yes. Oh God, I'm dropping pens everywhere. So I think I'll stop the stream at the 2 hour mark. Let's say that. I think 2 hours is a good time to end it. Imperial Diamond Spinosaurus says, Jack, you can find GMK on YouTube for free. Oh my word. Why would I do that when I have it right here? When I have it like right in my hands. Here it is. Yeah. The one where King Ghidorah is the good guy, right? There it is. Got it right here. Speaking of inspiration for this. Yeah. The entire Godzilla series. Still the dumbest name for GMK, says British Translator. Yeah. Right. Gently going over this with a brown pencil. And then use this pen to draw the outline of this. And I'll use the silver to do the slats on the door. This will most likely get edited in computer, obviously adding more detail. It's actually a metallic pen, so it should be shiny, that door now. I don't know if there's any way I can do it in the light. You can kind of see it. Let's have a show you guys what I've done. Imperial Diamond says, Jack, you should do a Godzilla collection video. I might do, yeah. I think I did one in the past and then I didn't do it. Well, I didn't upload it. I think I did make one. Some details there. I'm actually going to go over this fence with this pen. This gate, sorry. So I can edit the design of the gate in the computer. British Transfer says, but the best film name is The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then Bigfoot. I really want to watch that. I haven't got around. That's like on my. That's high on my I want to watch list. Then he goes on to say something about never forget Muldoon's thick thighs in Jurassic Park 3D. Yeah, Good old Moldone. Molders. Oh, I swear I picked a different pencil. Ah, this is the one I'm looking for. Adding all the fine detail. Okay, so 5 seconds and then I'm going to end the stream, basically. We've just hit the 2 hours mark. There we go. Just saw it cross over. So what I'm actually going to do is just quickly just add these little bits here and then I'll end the stream. But yeah, thank you very much, guys, for coming to today's live stream. It's good to be back doing this. I took a little bit of a break once we went into post-production on episode 1, but now that is out and on the channel. You know, episode 2 has been coming along nicely, so I'm glad to finally be getting the ball really rolling on this project, and you guys can actually see what I'm seeing in my head now with episode 1 being out. But keep in mind, episode 2 is where the story really marks itself, makes itself known, shows its differences from things before. That's one way of putting it. But yeah, so I'm just gonna do these little bits with this dark green, just getting the shading under the tree, essentially. And like I said, I'll scan this into the computer. I usually just take a picture of it on my mobile phone and then email it to myself or something. It's quicker than scanning it with a scanner. It's been fun to have one of these again, says British Tyrannosaur. Yeah, thanks, man. They will happen more regularly. And I've got some other video games I want to play, which I'll be doing. So basically, I'll be doing the same stuff I've been doing always. The one thing I'm sort of a little bit behind on is my King Kong videos. I've got I think I'm up to Kong 2005 in my Kong Skull Island files. I really need to get on that, but I'll do that. Do you know what? It's Jurassic June. Maybe I should do it this month at some point. But yeah, right, okay, so let's leave it there for now. Yeah, so that is what I've managed to do in today's stream. Let me just get that aimed up. Alright, I know it's blurry. Hopefully you guys can see there is a bit of detail, but this, yeah, will get scanned in. And this is us inside the Megaraptor paddock. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed today's stream. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.